Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Once again, we are going to start one of our another spectacular edition of our webinar. And here, for a change, we have two people, a couple. When it comes to wildlife photography, the major complaint we come across is the spouse is not happy with the X or Y is going out, having fun with friends, and going into the field, and the other one is left out at home. But here we have a couple from Tripura, and it's again one is a mechanical engineer, and the other one is a bio. A double, sorry. Once again, my memory is pretty bad. A master's engineer in masters, and both of them are into photography, specifically wildlife photography. Started their journey in 2016, and let's learn more about how they got into it, how they fall into nature, what's their plan, what's their idea about photography, conservation, travel, and life in general. So let's welcome Anindita and Suman. Hello.
Hi, good morning, good evening, everyone.
Good morning and good evening, everyone.
And thank you, Nisha, for bringing us for this today's beautiful session. So hopefully we will be um, able to, share our experience so far to the
And
audiences.
you coming from Tripura is interesting because Tripura is known for its wildlife, and coming all the way from there, we are waiting to hear your stories. How you started this? You are coming
Okay.
from engineering background. I've seen a lot of doctors getting into this now, seeing a master's degree holder and getting into photography and completely doing only photography. That's what you mentioned, right, Anindita? You're doing only photography for last 2 years. That's
Yes.
amazing. So what is your journey? How is your journey?
So, as you correctly said, we both belongs from Tripura, a beautiful north state in the northeast, rich in flora and fauna, and we are one of the luckiest say kids, or say our generation, you can say, that who lives amidst the nature for some time, because both of our home is where situated is surrounded by nature beauty that time. But honestly, that time we are not much aware of photography, what lens is, what camera is. So as we are both into the engineering profession, so most of our time after passing out of school, so we spend much of our time outside of Tripura. And in 2015 we got married, and
Yeah.
that time we were in Kolkata. So till that time, it was like not a hobby. So we have a point and shoot camera. So we just carry it whenever you go for any holidays or something like that. So things changes when I moved in Pune sometime in 2016. And in my profession, it's mostly very much travel. So I used to travel a lot in the Middle East at that time, and she being working in a MNC into a marketing and sales role. She had ample time in Pune, and she was living alone at the time. So the journey of photography started from there, and she can more tell on this how it started. So a little bit over to you.
Yeah, it is in 2016 and or 17. Yeah, 16 and one of my friend is a bud photographer. So first time I saw paradise flycatcher in Sihagar Valley in Pune. So I fall in love with that bird, that long tail and white color. So I'm a painter, so I paint
Oh, that's
little
great.
bit. So what I thought, like I can take photos and then I'll do painting with that. But when I come to know about the all birds and all, so now photography is the main thing and secondary is painting. So like that only we started, means I started my journey with my 5200 Nikon 5200 camera and 7300 FX lens. And then I bought one 200 500 with 5200 in 2017, and in 2018 I bought one D850 with 200 500. by that time he also started interest in photography. And in the morning or evening I always roam alone, so he thought, okay, I will help you, I will go with you, and he started loving photography. So
Yeah.
he's using D500 with 200 500. In We have several other lenses also. um, but in 2020 I shifted from 200 500 to 500 pf,
Oh, that's great.
with D850. But he is now with the D500 and 200 500.
Yeah.
So by that way we started our journey, and we roam different places in India,
Hmm.
and try to capture nature.
That's
Yeah. I,
wonderful. India got so much to see. A lifetime is not enough to explore India properly.
so yeah, that's a shit. That time I used to go with her in the field in the morning. We have a very common place near our home. That's Kauripet from where it started, and it's in Nagar Valley. So while going with her, looking at these birds, nature, so I said, why not? I should also start. So that from the thought started, and then we both wherever we have time, we go together, and yeah, we spend much of time there. Till now, also we whenever we got time, we just went out with our camera. It's very near to our home, so we just go there, see the natural habitats and the birds amidst and the habitat, and try to capture different things with our camera and gear. So she started in 2016, and that hobby is where I also fall into that, and then we both started
That's
together.
great. How about sharing your, the presentation, your images, your stories?
Yeah,
That
let
will be
me
a bit.
share. Yeah.
Yes. And yeah, I think we haven't had many guests from Northeast so far. So this is going to be a different experience. Yeah, we can see it now. Great. Yes.
So as I said, our photography journey start with Gauripet.
Mhm.
It's a place which is very close to our heart,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, and it gives a lot of things to us so far. And we thought, okay, let's start with this place. So, Anindita, if you can tell us more of this.
Yeah, that this is early morning shot. In 2018, yeah, I guess in 2018, I saw one spot bill was sitting on a rock, and I tried to capture with lower means
Angle.
WB down, yes. And try to capture it, whatever, I just try to capture the feeling of the image. So
Yep.
hopefully I done justice with that. So
Definitely,
it is.
definitely. You can.
So this is one more at the Gauripet. It is the Blue Throat. Again, it's by Anindita.
And this is in that same time only I used my 200 500 lens to take this. We saw only 2 or 3 times this bird in Koripat.
Wow.
It's not common, yes. And once in a blue moon, we came, in contact with this, and we captured this. So, but we have not in our 5 years in this place only once or twice we saw this bird. It's not common.
Oh,
The
okay.
blue throat.
Beautiful.
This is yeah. This is again a gray heron, and again it's early morning. In the winter, it's January month, and in morning there is a mist created on the top of the surface of the water, and we were very early that morning, so we thought, okay, let's see whatever we get in that light, and trying to experience something with our white balance and light conditions available. So we saw the mist very beautiful, and we be able to see a heron in that light, which is just trying to uh, make itself a place in the rock. There are a few ducks, and one of the ducks still there, but remaining ones they just fly off, seeing the heron coming there. So this one of the image is very close to me because it's the first of my image that published in Natgeo back in 2018. So it's
It's a
close to my
beautiful
heart.
one. I love the feel, that again, the ducks behind it and the complete feel of the image is amazing. It got that magical touch.
Yes, and we always try to see the different ambience there in Kodipet, trying to do some experience. So it's one of them.
That's
This
great.
is yeah, this is again in Kauripet. Is a common stone church. So the thing here is that I borrowed her lens, the 200 sorry 500 f.6 pf, because that day I went alone. And luckily at that time there is a full flowers, some colorful yellowish flower were blooming at that time in the Kauripet, the bank of one side of the river. And while adjusting my ears, I saw this stone chart perched on a branch, and I just clicked it. And this shot again a few days back, I just uploaded in BBC, and then few months back, it got published also in one of their contests. So it's in F1 5.6 I took it, so it's not that the background is shallow here. I try to focus the bird itself here, so there is nothing on the editing. It's just the what as it is coming from the camera.
That's beautiful.
This again Kodipet fighting between two marsh harriers. So it's
Wonderful.
taken by Anindita back in 2017, correct?
No, it's 90, 80, 80.
17, 18. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So generally, this place is full of kites, but we're lucky to see two harriers on that day. This territorial fight between the black-winged stilt. So getting a place in Koripet, it's not easy because it's a riverbed. There are, the debris also carried away during the rainy seasons, and there is a muddy land also. So to find a place as much as lower to the surface is very difficult. But somehow we manage find some place. We put some cover there, and we spend much time in the morning, and
Mm-hmm.
then sometimes it gives us result also. This like this image. So we waited for more, I think, couple of hours there, allowing the bars to come closer us. We are almost lying in the guard, in the mud almost, and then finally we came to capture this. So this again taken by Anindita.
Wonderful.
This is Sinhagar Valley, and our with Koripet, Sinhagar is the next place that you used to visit that time, and the place gives a lot of birds, colorful birds, and this is one of the image from Anindita.
Yes, tickle blue flycatcher. This is in 2018, I guess. Yes, it is in 18. So it's seated in a beautiful branch, and back there is something like it's look like it is sitting on like heaven. What I feel by seeing that bird. So I caption that birds of heaven like that.
Yeah, and it beauty is that the backside there is some trees full of that yellowish greenish leaves, and that gives the background also.
That's amazing. Amazing. The background does sometimes add more value to the picture, make it more
Yes,
dramatic.
yeah, and we can't see in the camera when we captured, but when we come home, we do some see it in the big screen. Then it gives okay. It's one of the beautiful image that we captured.
That's great.
This is again Sinagar. It's a black map monarch perched. It's my early days photography when I just started with my new D500 with 200 500 mm. So it's just a memory at that time, 2000 and 2017 and 18. This is a vertical flycatcher at Sinagar by Anindita. I think we
Wonderful.
tried to get the backlit here and the catch light.
Wow.
This is a big one. The big one bird sanctuary is something around 100 kilometers from our place, and it's a place for flamingos. So if people who love better flamingos, they always visit there, and we too. So every year, even this year also, we visited in April, May, a couple of times. So when generally they start coming in the beginning of the winter, say September, October time, and the number grows as the water level comes down. It is
Mm-hmm.
basically a backwater of Ujani Dam. So when the water level goes down, then the shallow water at the side of the lake, where these flamingo they get their foods, that fungus, the algae is inside the water, and that's the this level of water is a common habitat for them in big one. So this photography where we went out of our boat, we were knee deep water. We try as much as possible to lower our camera there itself in the water to have this low angle shot. So generally, in the late winter, March, April time, where the water level is not that much, the water was calm, no such tide or wind there, and it gives us some opportunity to do some experience in the water. So generally, the guide or the people that they don't allow in the water, but somehow we manage that time being a regular visitor there.
That's great. That's wonderful.
This is Anindita. It is taken this month of April this year.
This yeah,
Wow.
actually this the same thing. Like uh, we used to catch this in water level or in eye level shot. Try to take eye level shot, and they are fighting with each other. Yeah, you people know flamingo and their character. They if you like they always stay in groups, and sometimes they fought within a minute 3 4 5 times. So luckily we capture two separate flamingos fighting in distance. So I try to capture this image. It is taken in April, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah,
April
this
this year.
Great. Great.
so, yeah,
The level always add value.
yeah, yes,
Yeah, that perspective changes with levels.
Yeah.
Like in lower level, their perspective different, and eye level and upper level.
Yep.
So initially we didn't understand this thing, but day by taking pictures and buying, means by seeing other photos also, we learn so many things, that how to take photos in different level. So now little bit we understand about that.
Yeah, that's a journey.
yeah.
Yes.
This again in big one osprey with a fish kill. While doing their bird photography, I mean mostly the water bird, we came across with raptors many times. So just a change of taste at the time. So getting this very closer to us, we just captured this. Uh, so some raptors are common there in big one as well. Osprey, the greater spotted eagle, peregrine falcon, etc.
And you can see the eyes. It's literally is
Yeah.
looking straight into you. That's wonderful.
Yes.
The actually the thing is that some this crows were disturbing it at that time. It was
Oh.
perched on a light post, abandoned light post. It was enjoying this fish, but suddenly some crows started to disturb it, and it just flew
Mm-hmm.
away from that spot. So while
Oh,
taking the flight, luckily it was in our direction, our boat direction, and then we were able to capture it at the eye contact.
lucky day.
Yeah. It generally not happen. We came across few times, but it's one of the best clear shot that we able to take that time.
Great.
This is again the same story. So it's taken by Anindita, the spotted eagle, and then again the crow is just annoying it. uh, what the reason, but the moment it passed there, the crow started to have a fight, but from a distance. It, no, it can't fight with the eagle, but trying to disturbing, annoying it, and later on
Hmm.
it just took off from the tree. So it went
Okay.
for a few seconds, and we enjoyed from our boat this scene.
That's wonderful.
This peregrine falcon taken by Anindita, and
Wow.
it's just like taking away with the meat of a blackwing stilt. So they
Whoa.
like the meat of blackwing stilts there. So it killed somewhere, and when we approach it, it was just passing from in front of us. So it's just
Okay.
the moment she captured from the
Uh-huh.
boat.
Okay. That's a beautiful shot.
Now it's again Anindita. You can explain the background of this shot.
Yeah, that definitely worth, I would love to know the story behind this.
Uh, this is near Big One Chinkara's photo. So, like here near Pune, we saw Chinkaras only.
Okay.
And as of now, we don't have luck to see tigers.
Tigers or leopards,
So, all
especially.
leopards. So, I try to do painting from our car. I try to do
Okay.
painting, but the chinkar is not moving.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
So
I
stationed
see.
there.
just look towards me. Normally, the characteristic of Chinkara is like whenever they saw someone, they just
Mm-hmm.
run away.
Okay.
So unfortunately, what I thought that it's run and I can take a penning shot, but
Mm-hmm.
it's means stay there and I took a try to take penning and this shot comes out on that.
Oh, it's
So
yeah, that most of the time you do some experiment and you end up in some a result which you don't expect. So that's definitely a beautiful one.
Again, Chinkara with
this
Habitat.
is it. Maureshwar. Why I put this photo like in this beautiful bed of grass with white flowers, and what I feel that is a frame under frame. So that's
Yes.
why I'm taking this means I'm taking this photo, and this chinkara is sing towards me. So I kept this photo with me.
It's a beautiful one. Great habitat. That
and
trees and the background. I mean, the grass and the white flowers and the black trees, everything together. It's creating a foresty feel, and it's beautiful.
I remember that day the light was not that good, and it was late in the mornings at 9 to 10 in the morning.
Oh,
We were there for Chinkara only. But
okay.
even though the light is low, but this beautiful flowers, it was somewhere in June, July time, just in pre-monsoon. So it created good, bad, in the ground, some green and white background. So
Yeah,
anything in that looks very good at that time.
definitely. Amazing.
Yeah. So this
Wow, wow.
yeah, our first try with mammals other than Chinkara. So it in somewhere in Karjat, for some around 100 kilometers for big one. We came to know
Mm-hmm.
about this Indian striped hyena there, and in one afternoon went with our guide, and
Mm-hmm.
we spending almost couple of hours in the grassland, and finally we saw this juvenile coming out upon the
Okay.
deep jungle. So
Oh,
it was not that shy or kind of thing. So we were just following it for some time, say around 15-20 meters, just in the distance. So in one moment it just turned around us, and that's the moment I captured.
wonderful. You made use of it properly.
And this again, the same time we went for some grey wolf in near big one. It's the Indrapur forest area. So they
Okay.
are very, I mean, they are out in the morning, early morning only. So this
Mm-hmm.
this image is taken something around 6:30 in the morning. That time
Okay.
light is not
Okay.
that good, so yeah, and we try to have a close shot from our vehicle. So that day it gives us this chance or opportunity. So it was just running towards our vehicle, and we have a close shot from it.
Oh,
Otherwise,
wonderful.
more light from distance shot, the clarity is not there that much. But somehow it gives a clear image.
But I haven't seen much shots of grey wolf from India. That's wonderful.
Yeah. This is
Wow.
Ranganath to Mysore, and is taken by Anindita.
Lovely.
So yeah, so we were in the boat, and this lake is surrounded by these trees, and all the trees are covered with these spot-bill pelicans. And in some time they come to the water, they do this spooning, taking
Yeah.
water through the beak. And this time it was just opposite the light, so the light is other side of the image, and that
Yeah.
gives some backlit actions. So it is in the daytime around 8 9 in the
Eight
morning.
in 7:30, 7:45, right?
So we
Okay.
traveled from Bangalore to Mysore in the morning, and then we went. But it was the first encounter with spot-bill pelican there, and spent a couple of hours in the water. So it's one of the image she captured from the boat.
That's wonderful. That's a nice shot. I mean, I love the light, and you got it right on that spot, and especially the water splashes everything together. It's amazing.
Thanks. So this is again spot build, just using the
Wow.
backlit. Yeah. So
I
it's the
like
morning light.
light. It's all about light. Yeah.
This is in LRK. Last year in March we went there,
Uh-huh.
just after the lockdown, COVID lockdown. So we were sitting in the home for some time. So we thought, okay, let's go out and visit LRK. So it's a desert fox. It's image, Anindita's image it is, and in this image, the specialty is that we have a pair of puppies, the desert fox, and then this white ear, desert white ear, just beside their nest. And we
Okay.
that day we waited for 2 to 3 hours there, just for a
Mm-hmm.
glimpse of this fox, because we know that timing when what time they comes out of the den. But
Okay.
that day we waited for close to 2 to 3 years in this sunlight under the direct
Low
sunlight.
light.
The highlight was very much at that time. It was around 11:30 in the late night, and in desert area, 11:30 means harsh light that time.
Yeah.
So and at the Earth also started releasing the heat waves. So the clarity, getting clear shots is also difficult at that time in the desert.
Cool.
This is
Wow.
again LRT in the morning shot. We just started our journey, and this is again taken by Anindita. It was her side, so I could not manage to take the same shot. It was the vehicle. It happened, so I need to go in the vehicle. If you come, went out of the vehicle, they'll gone. They'll alerted and gone. And so I didn't disturb and let her to take this image. And it was the morning. The sun was just raised from the horizon,
Mm-hmm.
and had few common cranes sitting on the grassland. So she just made it. I mean, with the competitions and the light.
Wonderful. Wow.
This is again LRK, so it's like nothing. I had nothing to do. We were just were following some a folk of domicile cranes in LRK.
Mm-hmm.
But that day the crane were just hovering in the sky, so we were waiting when they will land in the water, and that time we'll capture some image. So by the time we waited for them to come in the water, I found this pair of white kingfisher from at side. So it's
Uh-huh.
the grassland there, and somehow they find some place to perch. And later on, this male it kills a fish and offered to this female as well, which I had. But, this is one of the moment of the courtship that I captured while sitting there for the game. So it's just a bonus shot, you can say. This Anindita's lesser flamingos in the morning. So for this image, if I remember, we have to crawl a lot from our
Uh-huh.
initial point because if you see there is this black spot coming, this is nothing
Yeah.
but the mud actually. So this is the sand lake. So once the
Okay.
water dries, so people will harvesting sand from that. So avoid this black spot. So we thought, okay, let's come as closer to these flamingos. But again, these
Mm-hmm.
flamingos are very shy and there, and
Yeah.
if any sound or anything attract them, they just will fly. So from distance, we crawled and we covered at least 30-40 meters while crawling slowly.
Uh-huh.
And after we approach a comfortable distance, we take this image. But still, there is this sand which I could not avoid
Yeah.
because this is the first time we are taking them, so we were very much excited also.
Because lesser
Yeah,
flamingo. We
lesser
wish to
flamingos.
take lesser
So
photo.
yeah, they don't come in big one.
Big one,
They
yes.
came in
It is
the
in
Navi Mumbai.
Mumbai, but not in big one. So we love to capture them in LRK.
That's great.
And now so this last year October we went to Dras to see
Oh,
this largest omnivore in the earth, this Himalayan brown bear.
wow.
And we used to climb around 400-500 meters every day morning minimum
Oh,
with our cameras, and we have our guide and spotter.
oh,
So I still remember it was morning 4. We started from our home.
oh my God. Okay.
Then suddenly they stopped the vehicle. At one point, it was dark. We don't know where it is. We are just they are just our eyes and ears,
Yeah.
and we just follow them in the steep terrain. And in the
Okay.
morning, in the winter, I could not realize how much we just climbed. And when the sunlight slowly come out, and then we realize we are almost 400 or 500 meters up from the road, and we can see our
Okay.
vehicle, teeny teeny cars into that. But it gives a thrill also when we see the bears because it is
Yeah.
these only we went there at that place in the Himalayas.
That's
So this
wonderful.
image is far away from, as you know, the very first climber, and
Yeah.
by the time we came to the a certain level and the
Yeah.
light comes, they already covered maximum distance, so they were at certain elevation than us.
Uh-huh.
So it's still we managed. So this is taken by Anindita, one of the
Okay.
teammates. Is generally they came down in the village in the late night for food.
Okay.
It was just before the hibernation, so it was October. So November onward they will go for hibernation for 6 months. So
Yeah.
they try as much as food. They look for as much as food. So they comes to the lowland near the villages for food, and in the morning they again climb up, go to their habitat place in the high in the hills. So that was the only window we have to see these mammals at their habitat. So this was our first morning there, and we were excited to see this. Though it was very distance, but yes, this is what we anyone can get at that time.
That's great. Seeing it itself is amazing.
This is the encounter in the second night. So as I
Uh-huh.
said, the night they comes to the village. So we
Okay.
with our guide, we thought, okay, let's have a short trip around the areas in the night after dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
we went to a shop. We have tea, hot tea there, and after spending some time, we were just returning back to our homestay. And then in
Mm-hmm.
one of the turn in the road, we saw these two, blinking lights. And then our guide said there is something, and he switch off his car engine light, and we have a light with us, and he started to scan the area, and
Okay.
we saw this. It is a juvenile brown bear, but one of the sad thing is that one of his leg was amputated. I don't know why.
Oh.
It was struggling to walk. So mostly it was trying to cross the road because one side
Oh.
of the road is the hill, other side is the village of the lowland. So
Okay.
after taking food, it was just trying to go up, and then we came in between. But we
Oh,
didn't
that's
disturb it much. So this
o-
image taken from the car from a distance
okay.
through our 500 lens, and then we leave it at there, and we went to our
Okay.
homes. Is one of the conservation fact that we would like to highlight that they need much care this area. We don't know
Yes.
how leg goes off, but it
Yeah.
gets to survive that for the rest of his life.
Well, that's very sad.
Yeah. This is in Hemis. This is Blue Ship, Garal. The story of this image is it looks to be simple, but the story of this image is that that day I walked almost 4 to 5 kilometers in search of snow leopard and lynx
Oh
because
my
we were
God.
yeah we were there in that Rumbak Valley in the image for 4 days, and we have spotter and guide that time, and they tried to locate any of this cat in the surrounding hills, but it was October, so October is not a good time, but we took our chances because
Uh-huh.
we thought, okay, well, coming back, let's spend some time in Hemis for to see
Okay.
the weather. So luck was not with us for this snow leopard or lynx. But last day of our stay, I took a chance. We went a distance around 4 5 kilometers in the morning with food and water. So at the evening, at the afternoon, while we are returning, it is the way walkway we have to come, and this
Uh-huh.
blue sheep was suddenly come up. It was just going up after having plenty of grasses. So
Okay.
I thought, okay, let's take it. It's the only gift I have at that day at the end. I came across this a folk of blue sheep many times during the day, but this image will remind me anytime that I was returning back and it also going back to his home.
Oh,
So
okay.
it was
It's
an
memory.
yeah, it was in
Memory.
quite high altitude. We have to climb this hill and again we have to climb down to go to the homestays, far end of
Oh,
the hill. So it's in the Hemis high altitude national park itself.
yeah, it's
And this
amazing.
is the yeah, long-tailed marmot in the Dras Valley. In one thing, I think the second day after visiting the hills for brown bear, we had some
Uh-huh.
time. So we thought, okay, let's see the other wildlife available there, and then we went to uh, valley near to the Dras. It was towards Jammu Kashmir Road Highway, and
Okay.
we came across some marmots, long-tailed marmots there, and this is one of the
Okay.
pairs. So they lives in the holes in the
Mountain.
hills or the valleys,
Yes.
and very shy. The moment they heard anything, they just go inside the den, and these are
Okay.
like a chain of
Holes.
holes in the ground. So the moment they go inside in a few seconds back, they just pop up from a different hole. So we have to wait when they come out and then able to take this image. So and we have to
Okay.
climb a little bit from the road, and
Around
Uh-huh.
yeah,
100 meter.
yeah,
Yeah,
more than
100,
100 meters
150-meter climb.
to see them. This is Chukar
Great.
practice, a common visitor to Hemis, the Rumbak Valley. Every morning they come in the village for grains and foods. So
Uh-huh.
while we were searching the blue chips and snow leopard, so it was just come in between us, and then we took this time to capture this. This is a very beautiful bird, but it is in the morning, so the light was not
It's
that
not.
much. But again, when we saw in the daytime, it's very colorful bird. This chukar practice there, and they made a very chick crick sound in the morning.
Oh,
Yeah, and this is a very rare and very rare in the sense
Shy.
not very common visitor, but it's a Tibetan practice, and
uh-huh.
we're lucky to see this in the our village. And this is image taken by Anindita, correct?
Yes.
Taken. So it's a Tibetan petrich, not common, but they generally stay in the high altitude. But
Uh-huh.
during our stay in the valley, In one morning they comes in the grassland there. So they have the villager have a small farmland where they
Uh-huh.
go for vegetables. So they were there having some insects in the field, so seeds and something like that. So we able to see this, and we were not aware of it. It's the Tibetan practice or rare, but our guide they suddenly
Okay.
say to take it. They are
Uh-huh.
not a contributor there.
It's great.
This is a fan throated lizard in Satara, and yeah, this is again Anindita. If you can tell the story, it's a white angle
Wow.
This last month only we
in
visit,
May.
yeah, in May we visit there in Satara this year. So try to take some pictures in wide angle. It will very difficult, but
Uh-huh.
somehow we can manage. Somehow we can take a few shots of them.
Yeah, we have to give it some time and space because generally they just run away, and
Okay.
they have a very short lifespan actually. So this
Okay.
June, July the monsoon will come, and
Also,
from
Mm-hmm.
May, June their mating season started. So
Okay.
what they do this the male actually, and it when they saw a female or see a female around, they just show their colorful throat. They extract it, and that's a very beautiful scene at that time. And it's just
Okay.
to trying to impress the female, and so they do to act in two instances like that, one for during the mating to attract, second also if they find a male they challenge them, and that time also
Uh-huh.
they float their colorful throat, and that's the name come fan protect lizard. And
Okay.
once the monsoon start they will die actually, because
Oh.
they're place to hide, they will die. And the female they will lay egg in a very um, protective area under any rocks or something like that. But it's after some time the female also die. So the remaining egg after the monsoon, the new generation will come out from those eggs, and whoever sustain in this harsh nature, they'll continue their life in the next monsoon or so. So this
Okay.
is a very rocky grassland actually, and the advantage of this area is that there are plenty of windmills, which is not seen in this image. But this windmill act as a protector from predators or raptors. They are not coming in that region, and they can fully
Oh.
freely roam in that area. And the numbers of these lizards are very much in this Satara Valley.
Okay. Amazing story and wide angle definitely to
Yeah.
anything this small can be really a struggle. Amazing.
And this is again a fan favorite lizard, but this was taken in Pune, some near to our home, and it was in a funny position. We were following this male for some time that morning.
Uh-huh.
We were in the ground, we crawling and just following it in the ground, and it's very difficult in that rocky terrain to climb actually without any knee protection. But
Yeah.
somehow we crawled because we need to take this image. Yeah. So it said its size is around say 4-inch height, and it took a support of a tiny grass, and it's just looking around. Basically, it's just looking around, trying to see if there any female around, and then it will attract it or trying to impress. So that's the
Okay.
moment when it stand in the support of this branch. We take this image,
Uh-huh.
and this image gives me many of the certification or award in the global platform.
Oh,
So
that's
this
wonderful.
is one of my favorite image.
Great.
And now back to our Tripura native place. So Tripura is famous for some of the primates which are very endangered and near threatened. So Anindita took this fairy list monkey. We called it spectacle monkey also, or in our common name in Tripura we call it Chashma Badar. Chashma means spectacle, and Badar means monkey. And
Okay.
it's state animal of our Tripura. And the sad thing is that the number is dwelling right now, and very few of them are surviving because of human wild conflict, loss of
Oh.
habitat, so
deforestation.
deforestations a bit,
Oh.
and so very less numbers are there. And
Oh.
I remember, so this image taken by Anindita, but last December I spent 2 days there, and I didn't find any of them. because they
That's
they
sad.
just changing their habitat very fast because of safety and food. Generally, they stays in a group of 40, 30, 40 with
Uh-huh.
children, elderly. It's like a family, like they are very social and they
Okay.
roam a group from one place to another.
And they are very
Okay.
shy.
Very shy.
Mm-hmm.
So if the baby is feeding the
Yeah.
mother, so
Beautiful image.
this is another primates, cat langur. It's again vulnerable, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it is also in from Tripura. There are few places we can get primates there. So
Okay.
in in Shipahijala, Snow Clouded Leopard National Park, and in Trishna also we can get primates. So this is one
Okay.
of my next.
And this is
This
northern
is
picture.
Northern Pictal, and
Mm-hmm.
this is I captured in this year only. That
Okay.
few pictures this year. So
Great.
it is in Vadpura. So that is a beautiful place where you can find Western Gabon also. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
have Gabon's picture, but 4 or 5 primates we can get it easily there. That they are
Mm-hmm.
endangered and vulnerable species.
Oh.
Yeah, very less numbers are there, but they are present in Tripura. So
Hmm.
Anindita able to capture three of them, but we have a wish that at least capture few more in the coming days when you visit again.
Let's hope you will be able to see and make some amazing images.
Sure, thanks. And this is Oriental dwarf kingfisher, the beautiful kingfisher. And for some time they visit near Pune during the breeding time. And
Mm-hmm.
this is the right time actually, this June, July monsoon. So this was
Okay.
again last year, and this is again Anindita, 500 lens. I also
Wonderful.
have same image, but not that clear because camera body matter, the
Yeah.
50 and deep.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's one of the place near Mumbai. We went there
Mm-hmm.
to see this beautiful bird, and that time it was killing insects and lizards to give protein food to its babies in the nest.
Okay.
So we were able to capture some of the killing shot at that time. This is Barnal Parakeet, again a monsoon visitor in Pune. They came from Karnataka every year
Uh-huh.
to enjoy the millets because in surrounding Pune, the farmer grows millets, and when it grows, ripes, this Barnal Parakeet they comes to enjoy the food. So this was last year, September, August, September. We went to place Sasfar near Pune and to see this beautiful parakeet. This is the only parakeet we have in our collections, the Barnal parakeet.
Hmm. Yeah.
This is a pair of great hornbills. This is a recent image, Mangaon, some 100 kilometer from Pune. And so we came to know about a pair of great hornbills that made nest in the Mangaon forest, and we went there. So this tree is the where they have their nest, but the place where is or the um, subject it's far distance from the road actually. So it's almost
Uh-huh.
50 meter we cover through our lands. This image and very high trees. And in the morning, this pair they just in busy in the courtship. So generally, the male it offer berries or food to the female, and the female also reciprocate the same with the male. And when I visited there in February, that was the breeding time start. I mean, the female it entered to the nest, and it was there for almost 2 months, and 1.5 and 2 months. And in May, she came out once the chick comes out of the egg, and then the again female come out. So this scene is before the nesting period, and we again visited May. We have other image also, but this is the before the female entered to the nest and doing courtship. So this is in February. This image taken in Manga,
Oh, wow.
and this is Himalayan Griffon in Tripura by Anindita. It was taken in February this year. So we the forest department there, they made some conservation effort there. So whenever there is a kettles or any wild animals die, they keep the carcasses in a designated place just
Uh-huh.
to make these griffon vultures to survive because their number is extincting. I mean, it is near threatened now. This Himalayan griffon. I still remember when we were studying in school, I used to see a lot of these vultures hovering
Yes,
in the
yes.
sky or in the
And
riverside
white
or
ramp
anything.
also. Yes.
But nowadays it's very rare because of lack of food and conservation effort. Their number is so less that you hardly
Oh,
find it. And Anindita is to travel 50 kilometers from her place to this location to have this griffon image captured in her camera. So it
wonderful.
is because of the recent effort taken by the forest department for conserving this endangered species. So
That's
locals
amazing.
and locals are also supporting. They are not disturbing them, and whenever there is a uh, dead body of any cattle, domestic animals, they just leave it there for the.
The river, in the
And
Koi river. Yeah.
it is a Kwai river. It's a river bank, and they use this place as a conservation effort for towards this vultures or griffons.
That's amazing.
The one more this image Anandita took just to portray the more conservation we required. If you see, there are stray dogs in the same river bank, which again disturbing this vultures or griffons whenever they come to the ground
Griffon.
for food. So this is a white drum vulture, and stray dogs were chasing them. So again, it's a matter of conservation or some action to be taken care of so that stray dogs should not come in the same place where they are the white drum vulture or the griffons are having their food or anything like that. So it's for that portraying this story as this image is taken by Anindita. This is one more.
Wow.
Yeah, we taken this image last year, January. So they made a long journey from the North China or the Tibetan side to South Africa, and in between they made a halt in Lonavala in December, January 2020 and 2021. So we went there. So in this image, the Amo trying to grab the insect. So it located an insect. It just suddenly jumped to kill it, and that moment was captured here. So
Wonderful.
yeah, and they were not that shy. So even if you go say around 15-20 meters near to it, it's not flying away. So it gives us some confidence and time to capture it very closely that moment.
It's amazing.
And this is the one of the recent trip to our big one, Baramati. There's a Bengal fox, and it was late in the afternoon. The sun was, already in the west side for setting, and then we wait. I think a couple of hours, so from 4 to 5:30 or 6, just next to its den, waiting for when it will come, because we never captured this Bengal fox in Pune. And at the late afternoon, it suddenly appeared from the far end. And the tragedy was with it. It's a male, and the tragedy was that it was stuck with some, uh, you know, um, horn in its nose.
Oh,
You see these cactus trees, so it might come across those and it encountered with some horn. So we have some images where it is visible, and it was we feel that it was disturbing it very large. It was
oh,
also making noise, but it was the only image we have at that time, and then we leave it because it's pathetic things we also observed, and unless somebody
yeah.
go and approach it, it can't take it away. So
Mm-hmm.
we wish naturally it will come out with some means because they are human wild animals. They know how to get rid of those things, but looks to be very petty at that time, seeing it in pain.
Yeah, I just have a question.
Yeah.
That's from, was it a vernal parakeet or a hanging parakeet, or is
Hmm.
it the same, or different. Yeah, I think it
Yes,
is right.
Yeah, yes,
yes.
it's called Vernal hanging parakeet.
Parakeet.
Mm,
Yeah, it's both the same. Yes.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
same.
that was a question we had.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's a
same.
beautiful image.
We call it Vernal parakeet, but again, it's Vernal hanging parakeet. I think when they eat, they hang themselves
Upside down. Yeah.
constantly upside down
Yeah.
from from this characteristic this name comes.
Yeah. Amazing collection. Amazing collection. That's wonderful. And the
Yeah.
stories, that's what is, make it more connected. It's
Yes.
about that journey and the experience and the intention behind the photos. That's what makes it
Right.
special. So thank you. And yeah, there is another, the same person had another comment on you both being partners, having a life partner be the wildlife photographer as well, perhaps the best feeling. That's great. Yeah, that's true. Okay, I have another question. Do you have any specific settings for birds in action, because we see a lot of action, or any tips for upcoming photographers?
Anindita, you want to share?
There is all about that settings we generally use. uh, Previously we use aperture mode, now we are using manual mode. So for
Okay.
the big birds, big means prey, birds of prey, and like stork, so we use shutter speed more than 1000, and in
Okay.
1000 to 1500 in between. If it is
Uh-huh.
in sunbird or the birds who mm,
Constantly moving, or
yes,
its
for that,
activity is very fast, so we trying to keep maximum shutter speed.
yes, it is
But
more
yeah,
than 2500. It's
but it all
depend
depends
on.
on the light also, like what light
Yeah.
condition you have, what is the distance of the subject. So as
Mm-hmm.
Anandita said, early in these learning days we used to keep aperture mode, but slowly we're trying as much as on manual side, just
Mm-hmm.
trying to adjust the different parameters we can.
Okay.
And while doing birding, you don't know whether it will be still or it will
Yeah.
suddenly move or it will be the
Move. Yeah.
action. So guessing the next step, what can be happen, you have to adjust yourself. If you every time you need to play around with your shutter speed and ISO.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, light is main factor. So though it is our set of setting that we like to have, but it differs when there is a low light or high light. So you have to play around.
Yeah, the most important thing in photography, what I feel, light. Without
Yeah.
light it is not possible to get good image. Yeah, it is different that you have to do uh, some like mm, some sunset shots, or that subject in solitaire, that is different thing. But if you want to like show proper subject,
Yeah.
so light is very important, and this light, that is without highlight,
Yeah.
so that window is less. It is
Yeah.
in if we are
So
shooting in
yeah.
Pune, that window is 1 hour in
So
morning
in the morning,
7:30
7:30 to
to
8:30, you
8:30.
have a beautiful light. Anything after
Yeah.
8:30, the highlights start coming in the picture.
Mm. Yeah.
Same in the afternoon, if it around 4:30, after 4:30 in the winter time. So it's a beautiful light, and we trying to utilize that moment. But it all depends. If you have action, then only you can utilize this light.
Yeah.
So sometimes you
That's
have
true.
the light, but there is no subject, no action. So we spend maximum time in co-debate itself, because
Mm-hmm.
we thought, okay, any day we may come across with a different shot or different subject. So still date also, whenever we have free time, we just go there spending time. It also feels gives us a good feeling in the morning when you are within the nature.
Yeah. Yeah, and okay, there is one more. Sauvik Mukherjee said, "Love you to see both again." So that's another. Then there is Pet World from Tripura, Saurabh, and Ellie. There are a few hello and thank you messages. And
Okay.
Hello.
what's your future next? Okay, what's your next travel plan? Where are you heading to?
We have many wishes in the card. So last year, as I said, we went to Dras for this brown bear, which is again we could feel that it's not completed for us. So we have a plan to revisit Dras again,
That's good. Yeah.
different time, and that we again along Dras we like to cover Hanley for
Mm-hmm.
some Pola's Gate or links there.
Mm-hmm.
So we have not covered a certain portion of Leh because Leh wildlife is a big area,
Yeah.
and so just the first tour we had in last year. So we have
Mm-hmm.
wished that we once again we'll go there. We'll see those creatures very closely, and then we have planned to visit Marai also, but in the near future.
Great.
The
Great.
great migration. Wish to see
Yeah,
the migration.
We have a place in Mara. Anytime you have plans, do let us know.
absolutely.
Definitely, absolutely.
Yeah, Mara is like home for us. And do you have any specific animal or a bird or anything in specific in your head, like, you really, really want to see?
Yeah, so both of us talked much on this. So we have a one wish to visit the extreme corner of our globe to see the polar bear, and if possible, with the northern light.
Oh, yeah. When I'm waiting for it. So far, I know is I'm in Prince George right now. And the people over here mentioned even if I'm going to be on my my if I even if I stay outside and watch it on during November, December from my balcony, I should be able to see northern lights. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I haven't seen it,
You
so
are you are staying in that means capital town of polar bear.
bears are quite common over here. But I have seen it only twice. One when we are
Wow, that's
just
great.
moving around, and second once again on the road. It's not the brown bears, the black bears, which are slightly smaller in size. Hopefully, I
Mm-hmm.
will try to see the spirit bears, which is white in color. And it's quite famous in this part of the world. So I'm hoping. I'm hoping. So thank you once again, and good luck with your future too. And thank you for finding time and sharing your experience. Thanks again,
Yeah, thank you,
Thank you.
Nisha,
and
and
all the
Thank
thank you
you.
best.
for for these wonderful sessions and giving us this opportunity to connect with people and you said.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's our pleasure, and let's do this together. And anything for nature, anything to spread awareness. That's all about it. Thanks
Yes.
again.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a nice day. Bye.
You too.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
So that was a couple who fall in love with nature and exploring the world, starting with India, some amazing images, Tripura again, some wonderful animals which you don't get to see quite often. That was an experience. So, in case if you would like to share your story with us and with our viewers, do get in touch with us. And don't forget, it's still COVID. You need to make sure you are in a safe, if you're traveling, you are taking care of everything. And if you're not vaccinated, do get vaccinated. I know there are a lot of stories around being vaccinated and not being vaccinated. It's your call, but be safe. Till you, I think most likely we have our next session on next week, and we will let you know as usual in advance who it is going to be and the date and the time, everything. Till then, stay safe. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.